The hundreds of thousands of teenagers who took to the streets Saturday in the March for Our Lives are back home with the blessing of Pope Francis. Francis celebrated Palm Sunday, which coincided with World Youth Day, by urging young people to shout. He added it is up to them not to keep quiet and to let your voices be heard even in the face of corrupt or quiet elders. Star Garcia was one of the students who joined the protests across the country. And she joins me now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So tell me, you were at the protest here in New York.
I was at the protest here in New York.
And did you carry a sign?
I did carry a sign. Unfortunately, I did not have time to make my own, but the organizers were very kind and they were passing out free signs. The one I received was labeled Students Demand Action for Gun-Censored America, which is fitting because I'm a student.
So tell me, what was it like here in New York?
Oh, well, first of all, obviously, there were a lot of people there. We're estimating 150,000 or 200,000 people, not as much as DC, but to see a lot of people in the same place, thinking about and having conversations about the same thing, it was a really powerful experience to be there.
Had you ever been to anything like that before?
This is my first time ever being in a protest.
And what did you think? What did you come away with?
I got away with, the passion and determination of us, of ourselves, of our community to make change.
Now, you're at Stuyvesant High, and you're part of a group at Stuyvesant called Stuyvesant Strong. But you tell me what your plans are for that group.
Well, the group is Stuyvesant Says Enough, actually, and on March 14th, we organized our school walkout in accordance with thousands of other walkouts across the nation. And actually, on April 20th, we are planning another walkout on the anniversary of the Columbine shooting.
And what's the reaction of the adults around you to your activism?
Our goal is to have the adults around us be inspired by us and have them listen to us for a change instead of having us blindly follow their own beliefs.
Well, let me put it another way. What do your teachers, your principal, your parents think about this?
Our school personally has been in widespread support of this, and we're really thankful for that.
And your parents?
They've also been supportful.
Did your parents go with you to the march?
Yes, my mother was with me at the march, and the only thing she really had to say about it was how much walking she had to do.
How did it feel to be there with so many other young people, having your voice heard?
It was very empowering. Like, when you're alone, it's hard to feel like you can make a change in this world. But when we all band together, all of us being so young, being so determined, it really makes you feel like something's about to happen.
And how do you see this going forward? I mean, we've talked about what you're going to do on April 19th?
20th.
20th, sorry. We've talked about what's next?
Well, what we want to be next and what students and hopefully adults across the nation want to be next is better gun laws, better gun control, bans on assault rifles, and overall to make sure that we have a safe environment to learn and pursue an education in.
Do you feel safe in your school?
I do feel safe. I do feel safe in my school.
Do you have to do special drills, like active shooter drills?
We have not had specifically active shooter drills, but we do have lockdowns, which is what would normally happen during if a shooter opened fire in our campus.
What's that like?
Well, for us, we dim the lights, we close the doors, and we all huddle together in a corner of the room that is away from doors and windows as to not be seen in the case of a potential threat inside the building.
Does everyone in your school know where they have to go to be safe, to not be seen?
Well, it really depends on which room you're in, but generally we have an idea of where to go, like huddle closer to closets and away from the doors. Like if there's a table, you can hide under that.
Do you think about what happened at schools like Parkland?
I think about it very often, and I'm sure many of my classmates do as well.
What goes through your mind when you think about something like Parkland?
I'm just wondering, and I'm sure many of us are wondering, are we next? We already had something happen to us on Halloween, and while it was not in our campus, it was not a shooter in our campus, it was instead a terrorist attack that had taken place right outside, it still makes us wonder.
That was the person who drove a car
On the West Side Highway.
on the West Side Highway and killed a number of people, and that happened right in front of your school. So do you feel like you are, I've heard some of these other students talking about this, that they feel like they really are, you know, the school shooting generation, that this is a reality of your life.
We do feel like that, and really we shouldn't. Like, the fact that the term school shooting generation even exists is a major problem. We shouldn't try to normalize any of this for even a moment.
How do you think you keep the momentum for this going?
Well, we have to keep making ourselves heard. We have to keep protesting, keep going up to politicians, to adults who can vote for us while we can't. We have to get politicians that can make change for us and eliminate those who don't want to.
How far away are you from being able to vote?
I'm 15 right now, so I have a while to go.
And you want to make sure that people know your feelings in matters like gun control.
Yes, I definitely want to make sure. Like, I'll be pressuring my parents into voting for the right people as well.
Star Garcia, thanks so much for coming in and talking with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.